our podcast for today. So let me introduce myself, Natasha Danya, your host for our interview podcast for today. So, speakers, do you know what PETROS stands for?
Yes.
So PETROS stands for Petroleum Sarawak Berhad, established by Sarawak government in 2017. So today's discussion is about corporate government issues, the background of PETROS, how they deal with the issues, and how it follows MCCG 2021. So let's move on to our introduction. Speaker one, Mr. Afif, can you share about some background information about Petros?
Okay, sure, Ms. Dania. PETROS was established by Sarawak government as fully state oil and gas company. The purpose of creating PETROS was to allow Sarawak to play a bigger role in managing its own oil and gas resources. The company became very important because Sarawak is one of the largest contributors to Malaysia oil and gas industry. Okay, if you know, PETROS was worked together with PETRONAS, which is the national oil company of Malaysia. However, the relationship later created several governance and legal challenges. And one another important is the PETRONAS represents Sarawak effort to strengthen state participation in energy sector while also supporting economic development and sustainability in the state. That's all for me.
Thank you, Speaker one, Mr. Afif. Now let's move on to the main discussion. Ms. Rafina, what are the challenges faced by Petros?
Thank you, our host, for the question. And one of the biggest issues faced by PETROS is the conflict with PETROS about who controls gas distribution in Sarawak. This happened because PETROS was given authority by the Sarawak government, while PETRONAS already had power under federal law. So it created confusion between state and federal control. Besides that, PETROS also faces legal and compliance challenge because their laws are different. If these issues are handled properly, it could affect the company reputation and public trust. Another issue is transparency. Since PETROS is a government-linked company managing import resources, people expect the company to be more transparent, responsible, and accountable in making decisions.
Thank you, Speaker two, Ms. Rafina. Now let's move on to Mr. Haikal. How did Petros face these challenges?
Okay, for me, Petros respond by strengthening cooperation with both the Sarawak state government and the federal government. Discussion and agreements were carried out to clarify the role of Petros while maintaining collaboration with Petronas. This is important because good cooperation governance is not only about following rules, but also about maintaining strong relationship with stakeholders. Petros tried to improve communication and coordination to reduce conflict and increase trust. In addition, the company focused on improving its operational and financial governance. Petros received strong support from the Sarawak government, and according to RAM ratings, the company achieved strong financial rating because of its strategic importance and governance of support. PETROS also emphasizes sustainability and risk management by improving compliance system and business planning. This action helped the company maintain long-term stability and accountability.
That's interesting point, Mr. Haikal, speaker number 3. So, do you guys think that Petros face more corporate pressure compared to private companies?
Okay, based on our research, Petros was shown effort to follow several MCCG 2021 principles, especially in leadership, risk management, sustainability, and stakeholder engagement. For example, the company works closely with government stakeholders and focus on long-term economic development for Sarawak. Petros also demonstrate accountability through governance, coordination, and strategic management practice. However, there are still areas for improvement. The company can improve transparency by providing more public disclosure regarding governance policies, board diversity, and decision-making processes. Stronger transparency will help increase public confidence and corporate reputation.
Yes, definitely. Government-linked companies are usually under greater public attention because they manage public resources and are connected to government interests. People expect them to be more transparent and accountable.
I agree. At the same time, they also face more complex challenges because they need to balance business performance with public responsibility and political expectation.
And then, the case of Petros, the legal conflict with Petronas made governance even more complicated because it involved both state and federal authority. That's why the strong governance and communication are very important.
Thank you to the speakers, our dedicated speaker, Mr. Afif, our gorgeous lady speaker here, Ms. Arvina, and our intelligent speaker, Mr. Haikal, for your opinion and thoughts. So, let me conclude this discussion. So, Petros plays an important role in Sarawak's oil and gas industry. But the company also faces several corporate governance challenges, especially regarding legal authority, transparency, and stakeholder management. So despite these challenges, Petros has shown efforts to improve governance practices through cooperation, strategic planning, sustainability initiative, and compliance improvements. So while the company has demonstrated alignment with several MCCG 2021 principles, there is still room for improvement in transparency and governance disclosure. So that's all from us today. Thank you everyone for listening to our podcast discussion on corporate government issues in Petros. So we hope that this discussion has given you a better understanding of the importance of good corporate governance in government-linked companies. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye!